Lux Angus here. Today's topic will be about my finished initiation through Tiphereth and what basically I have experienced there, as much as in details as possible. Well, if you have been following me for a bit longer time, one should know that I am pursuing initiations, the Kabbalistic initiations, and there are 10 spheres, and each 10 spheres is like a personal, spiritual, mental and physical graduation under a higher state of being, power, wisdom, knowledge, insights, and thus competency. And yeah, as of right now, like in my current state, I'm much more further than that, but regardless, I will just give my details as possible. Well, when I started to initiate into Tiphereth, there was like this crazy workplace that I worked in like for at least like 3 months, a very intense workplace basically, where I like have driven a forklift and have cleaned up the damn rooms, and you know, it was actually a very heavy job when it comes to the people there, actually, like socially with the people there, and also with my own personality, with my own being and self. Like I've worked there many things that literally could break any person's ego unto half and destroy one's own false sense of self, in a way of like thinking one is like the shit, or like one is confident or anything. No, because every person there, you couldn't talk with them normally. Like every person there will challenge your personality, your person, your self-worth, everything basically of you, what you define yourself to be. And yeah, and it was also a symbolic cleaning up of my own subconscious mess in regards to my own self-beliefs, thinking who I am, thinking what I want to do, thinking who I authentically am trying to be. Like it was all in all a very challenging situation initiating to Tiphereth, even though Tiphereth, the sun sphere, is actually in the middle pillar of this whole Kabbalistic tree of life, and it should represent like the balance of the energies of all the 11 and or 10 sephiroth. I think this initiation, regardless, will be for anyone challenging if one has like an underdeveloped or like some deeper sense of traumas or root problems into oneself, or connection to one's own self, one's own higher will, one's own diamond, one's own true will. You know, if there are blockages, if there are some hindrances, it will be destroyed by inner and outer conflict. Like initiations does not only require to happen in your ritual space, in your mind, it also requires from you to go also through with it on a physical level. Also there's like a correspondence, like the things that spiritually and mentally initiates you must find a door on a physical plane through some actions or through some material correspondences that will allow the mental, spiritual and physical energies to coalesce together and to produce this alchemical inner and outer change to happen and to manifest and to integrate within you, and thus to actualize your own inner divinity and evolution through this whole process. And yeah, like every these 10 or 11 sphere, like the As is like a Sephira, transclify, it's like a portal way, actually, Dove. And the Tiphereth actually is like the middle of the whole tree, like it's the center of the whole tree, like it's the sun. The sun is also the center of our own universe. So it makes sense that this sun sphere balances actually all 10 and or 11 emanations out. So it was a huge, actually at the end of it, a huge balancing of these whole energies, of not being like too sure of oneself, too overconfident in an unhealthy manner, and not also too downtrodden, because when I slowly transitioned actually to Geborah, the next sphere, to Mars, like I came slowly out of this whole self-defeating scheme of things, you know. And yeah, what I found very interesting was also like the pathway between Netzach and Tiphereth is like the devil in unreversed manner. And the pathway of the devil was like the precondition that you open it and integrate it for you to initiate into Tiphereth. And basically, I have been in a role of the devil, and also many other people who like manifest themselves as this devil, you know. There were some like quick suggestions of like doing sexual offers, actually, like sexual offers, stuff like that. And I knew like it is just a distraction. It's just like a luring of the devil, you know. The devil card in tarot, if you know it in your mind, it's like basically the people who have these chains around their neck are loose, you know. That just simply means you yourself actually chose to be in this trap or in these devilish situations, of these bounded situations, but you can also go out of it. Take this leash, take these chains away from your neck, basically. And one guy, especially my co-worker, was a literal embodiment of like this devilish figure. Like he had so many, like he was the devil, and he was also afflicted by the devil. In a sense, like the devil card, this path of the devil presents also like materialism, being bound to materialism, to addictions, to people, to toxicity. And this guy was like over the top to it. Like he had no free time, he had no damn money, he was not a honest person, he was a trickster, a liar, and he also deceived me. But I got his ass by me also embodying the devil at the end of it, you know. Because I knew this person would never actually recuperate all the things I've given him, be it money, be it help. Like this guy wouldn't give me shit back, actually. I knew that. He was just playing. So I decided, okay, I'm playing too. And one day I just know, like he will ask me for money, and I just said, okay, fine. If you really wanted money, make this deal with me. Like I literally said it word to word. Like if you don't give to me freely the money back that I've lended to you, basically I get the soul parts of your being. And I told him that, and he understood, and he shook my hands, like this archetypical picture of the red hand, the devilish hand, like shaking the hand of another person. I embodied this devil, and he like thought like he could trick me, but no, actually this guy didn't know what kind of person he's actually messing with. And like he took this pact, actually. And you know what was also kind of funny? The same day that this was happening, when I like have driven with him to the money machine where you can withdraw money, before we came to that, like there was a truck before us, and above was like a commercial. There stands my best friend, and down below the car sign was like 666, and 666 in this Christian tradition is also known to be, you know, the number of the beast, of the devil. And also in a Thelemic, like from Crow's religion, and also in ancient Egypt, the number of the sun, you know, the sun, which I'm also initiating in. What an interesting coincidence. And right after that happened, like right after I put on the role of the devil myself, I think this pathway had opened itself, and I maximally landed this guy like 1,800 euros. Like if you exclude the zeros out of it, it becomes 80. And 80, you can like separated 3 times through 6. So it's 3 times 6, 80. You know, I give him like I gave him like this, how to say, because the sun, the soul 666 is also like a synonym for one's own soul. Sun, sol, soul. Soul is also like another word for sun. I think in Latin, if I'm not mistaken. Soul is also another word for the sun and also for the soul. Your soul is like the sun. So he gave me his soul energy basically through this unconscious deal he made with me. Bad for him, only good for me. And yeah, and I got his ass. Basically, he doesn't only give, like, he will not only give me money, actually, he will give me his soul parts to me. How stupid one can be. Like, he thought like he could trick me, but ultimately I tricked him on many levels, like a true devil does. Yeah. And yeah, this time period was also like, because the sun sphere in the Sephiroth is also a synonym for many high evolved teachers or people who sacrifice themselves for the greater sins of humanity, or like, you know, I sacrificed also my own well-being and my own sense, my own money for another person. Like, I was pretty much selfless also in a sense to embody the sun sphere, like this guy who is constantly freely emanating his energies, his resources, his time to everybody who actually means it and need it, and authentically approaches me for getting this help, and I just giving it freely, you know. And I was damn broke, okay. I was in this time period damn broke when it comes like to normal savings for the daily living. Like, it was just crazy, a period, like a huge period of trickery, of embarrassment, of ego death, of also ego being delusional a bit, very much so. But it was all in all a huge struggle, actually. Like, there was no time where like there was no conflict with oneself, with one's own consciousness, with other people, with one's own energy. Like, you know, these things happen actually in these type of initiations if you have a problem in them, if you need development in them. Like, it is a controlled opposition, actually, if you believe it or not. You know, this intensity that you will experience on this path is actually on a higher scale of things, a controlled opposition for your own consciousness, for your own soul and spirit level to evolve. No, it's just enough stress. It is just enough conflict. It's just enough stress and conflict. So what your own soul, spirit and body flesh just needs to evolve and go out of its comfort zone. If you understand what I mean? Just enough. You know, and sometimes even more so if your own inner will like finds out there needs to be a huge amount of evolving for you to actually grow and fulfill your great work, which is the realization of your own inner divinity, true will, divine self, the authentic self, the authentic being, the godly being. You know, it will just be like how your own individual self needs it to be. I believe and I acknowledge through my own experiences. You know, and yeah, this was simply it, my experiences with initiating through Tiphereth, actually. But before I end there, you know, I think these jobs that manifest on your path of initiation are most likely initiatory in nature. Like, if you are initiating actually right now, you can be 100% assured, if this isn't initiatory in nature, this will stay longer. But for some type of reason, if it is more initiatory in nature and you need to leave this job for whatever reasons, you will know it. Then you must leave this job when the stages are fulfilled, basically. And listen to that, because if you get stagnant, you cannot successfully initiate further. And yeah, and in the last day where I just decided to pack up my things, there was omens also, like around the city where this company basically was seated in. Like 2 days before, like no, before I decided it, like after a weekend on a Monday, there was like a graffiti painted near the vicinity of my workplace, and it was 13. 13 is a tarot card of death, and death, transformation, sacrifice, letting go of things. But not only that, 13 is also the 13th whale of the negative emanations beyond Kefir, So it was also a huge needed sacrifice, actually, of death to produce the good amount of death energy, actually, to activate the further process of initiation. Because like 3 days after this graffiti came, when I decided to let go of this job and this position, right at the time I got another phone call that I should go to another initiatory workplace that perfectly encapsulates, one-to-one perfectly encapsulates the initiation into Geborah, into Mars. And this will be like the next topic about my experiences initiating through this whole sephiroth. Or on that, Naga bless, and we shall see and hear us again.